With its acquisition of the Huffington Post, AOL may soon see another round of layoffs. It cut about a third of its workforce last year. And for more on AOL's struggle, we are joined this morning by the firm's CEO, Tim Armstrong, in an exclusive interview. Tim, great for you to stop by.
Thanks, Betty, for having us.
And I know that just moments ago you issued a press release sort of outlining, the future and the outlook and the restructuring here at AOL. And just as I'm reading through it, you mentioned that layoffs are a key part. Affected employees will be notified today. So how many layoffs are we talking about?
Roughly, as a company, there's about 200 in the United States and about 700 in India, although about 300 of those are going to go to an outsourcer. So effectively, it's about 400 to 600 between India and the U.S.
400 to 600 out of 5,000 employees, right?
Roughly 5,000, yes.
Okay. And this is brought about partly by the acquisition of Huffington Post?
Yeah, well, it's, we've dynamically changed AOL over the last couple of years to really focus on content and restructure the organization. We started with Europe and the U.S., and now we're restructuring part of the Asia operations. But the biggest thing we're focused on is really having the most talented group of people we possibly can work at the company. We have a great set of employees right now. The Huffington Post comes in as an opportunity for us to continue to focus on editorial quality and journalism. In the advertising business, we made tremendous progress there. We just announced a new brand format for advertising, which got industry standard. And then we are continuing to work on the communications area. We have a new email format out and a lot of other products coming out in that area.
Right. So it sounds as if, though, that this is the first of several then moves. Am I right on this?
Well, this is probably, we did Project Everest last year, which was the largest cost reduction we've done to date. This is a smaller cost structuring, but really this is different than last year's because now it's about growth, and we're focused on growth. So I think as we go forward, I think you may see more tweaks to the organization, but this is a pretty significant change for us. I wouldn't expect to do more significant changes of this nature.
Do something of this magnitude, right, then, is what you're saying, Tim. And all of this is basically to drive this idea, right, that you're going to make money, profit off of content. I mean, that's what Huffington Post is about, right?
Yeah.
So how are you going to make money off of content when others just haven't been able to figure out? How are you, Tim?
Yeah, so there's three quick things we're doing. One is creating the first global, national, and local. We have Patch, which we've digitized roughly 800 or 900 towns in the United States.
Right.
We're the first large internet company to have global, national, and local content all in one bucket. That's very attractive for advertisers, very attractive for consumers. The second way is by really changing the way advertising gets done online. And, search and couponing and those things have done really well online, but there's been one giant segment that's been left out, which is brand advertising. Project Devil is a new brand format that we launched, which allows a brand advertiser like Coke or GM to run one ad to one consumer and have us redesign our properties around it.
Okay.
Those ads are performing much higher than industry standards, in some cases up to 20x what brand formats are online. And
then quickly on the third one, then you said?
Yep, and the third one is really us investing in high quality experiences, so in content. So I think if you have high quality content, great brand advertising, and a real focus on brands themselves and consumers understand, it's a great business opportunity on the way.
However, but Tim, and obviously I'm only pointing out what is fact, is that your stock has continued to go down, though. So investors don't seem to be buying that strategy. And even on Wall Street, you only have 2 buys out of all the analysts that cover you. So they're not buying this.
Right. So two things. One is we're transitioning shareholder basis from value to growth. So I think there's a natural disconnect that's happening in the stock price. And then the second thing, actually, which is probably more important, is people don't understand content economics very well, and they look basically at the past history versus what's possible in the future.
What don't they understand? What is it that they don't understand?
They don't. And again, I think investors are reacting because we live in the show me state. We have to show the metrics of this. But under the CEO, what I see is revenue mix getting better. I see stronger. We basically have the same amount of usage or more usage, same amount of ad revenue and better ad revenue at this point with half the number of employees. So the company's much more efficient than it was last year, and we're getting stronger. And eventually this year, I think investors are going to see that, and my guess is the stock is going to move up.
But Tim, I guess the idea is, though, but aren't ad rates going down, down, down because you've got more and more content out on the internet? So you're going to really have to jack up the number of users' eyeballs onto all of your websites to even to even make up for what's actually sliding on the other end, which is the ad rates, right?
Let me blow up this notion, because I think that may be true across generic types of ads and generic type of content. On our properties, we've actually seen a double-digit increase in pricing in the last year, and in areas like local, which are very hyper locally targeted, the zip code level, The Wall Street Journal came out with a report today saying we were getting $4 CPMs, and Martin Pierce wrote that article. And I talked to him yesterday. We won't give out our numbers, but it's materially higher than that, and it's not double, triple. It's much higher than that. And I think we will end up surprising people this year, I think, with our ad business, and we're looking forward to it. But we have a lot of work to do at AOL, and we're not shying away from that. That's what part of today's announcements are about. But AOL will be the largest digital brand content company, I think, online, and we will have the best brand advertising model.
I think also in that piece that you referred to in the Journal, it also had said that AOL at some point, if the stock keeps going down, investors won't be patient enough, that at some point AOL will have to do something, sell off its assets, perhaps. Is that an option at some point?
Well, look, I'm the single largest individual shareholder in AOL.
You've been buying.
So I've been buying about over $20 million of stock in the last year. I don't know many CEOs in our space that have done that. And look, my job is not to run AOL into the rocks. My job is to make AOL a tremendously valuable company. The 4 companies in front of us in terms of traffic in the United States are 20, 40, 50, 70, $150 billion companies. We're $2 billion. We have one of the biggest, broadest brands on the internet and in the world. And if you don't think my eyes aren't set on getting this company to 4, 6, 8, 10, 15, $20 billion, that's what I get up for every morning.
Well, I'm sure there's no doubt on that, but you can't do that forever. The markets are impatient these days. So at some point, you must have some sort of cutoff time that you need to do this. Otherwise, you may have to consider selling off assets or merging. I mean, am I right or wrong about that?
Yeah, I mean, look, the company is much healthier than it was a year ago, and I think the chances of us being successful in the strategy have probably, tripled in the last year. So I think, our time frame, we said publicly 2013, we thought the lines would cross in terms of growth. I'm hoping it's faster than that, and everything we're doing at the company, today's announcements included, hopefully we'll do that. So you look at right now, sitting here today, there's no thought process of breaking up the company. Just remember, though, I'm a huge shareholder, and I'm not going to let AOL run to the rocks. And as a matter of fact, I think we're charting a course for success and working very diligently. We're making very tough decisions, moving very quickly, and as an individual shareholder, I'm not worried about today's price. I'm worried about the prices when people start to see the material changes in the metrics of our company, and I'm very excited for what I think the future stock price will be.
But Tim, after 2013, then what?
Well, 2013, I'm hoping we're going to have a process and show and building similar to Bloomberg's, and we'll all be talking about something different than breaking up AOL, because it's probably not going to happen.
Tim, thank you.
Okay, Betty, thanks for having me.
Good to see you. We see each other quite a bit now. Last time was at the Paley Center. The AOL CEO, Tim Armstrong.